David, Felipe Esparza
Yes.
is a great stand-up comedian. Our guest today on Fly on the Wall.
Mm-hmm. Good dude. I actually was quite entertained by him. He had a great story. And that was one of the ones I have to say I'm not tight with, but I think you had met him. And I was introduced to him through you as far as his comedy. And then when I looked him up, I thought, oh my God, this guy has been around doing great. And it's just one of those blind spots when you're not in the same places as people, but he has a huge career.
Huge following. His story is so interesting because he came through the border illegally years ago with his mom and his brother. And I think his brother had to be dressed up as a girl or something. But anyway, his stories of how he got to America and how he started his career in America and how he's become so successful. It's just a great ride. And he's funny and charming as well. I think you're going to really like him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a great time talking to him. He's a good looking dude. If that matters to anyone, does to me, does every
he looks very young for his age, and he has a great head of hair. We couldn't get over it.
Cool hair and a good attitude. And I had a lot of fun with him. So hope you like it. Here he is.
It's Felipe. I just thought of a rich person's metric, or people have a little extra money. Either you go to a salon, you go to a barber shop to get a haircut, or the haircutter person comes to you.
Right.
It's the first sign of having a couple extra bucks in your pocket.
Also, depending on who you're working with too, because in Comedy Central they'll have like a hairstylist. But when you're working with like BET or Def Jam, there's like two barbers there from the hood. And they're giving you
there's a barber shop on the set.
You don't even know what's going on. You sit down and go, and you hear the comedian go, "Give me a Chicago fade."
I've heard that.
And I'm like, I have long hair. Give me a Cholo number 5.
Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Cholo
and you don't
number
get any
5.
kind of food product with that. You just get hair done. There's no sense of any sort of food with that. A Cholo.
Yeah. When I first started stand-up, my hair was really short, like a gang member. It was really short. And then, I used to get pulled over on the way home, so I just started letting it grow. And I just let it grow, and then I haven't cut it yet.
What length is it past gang member?
Yeah, when does the length of the hair reduce being pulled over?
Oh man, you gotta be like Bill Burr.
Yeah, officer, I wasn't fucking speeding here, all right? I'm going to the fucking Comedy Store, all right? He's aggressive, that Bill.
Listen, give me some pickles.
Yeah. You know what drives me out of my fucking mind? Meter maids. Get a fucking car. I don't need a golf cart. Give me a parking ticket, you fucking meter maid, metalhead. Anyway,
Bitch.
That's kind of Bill Burr. I used to do that. I used to do just East Coast stand-up. But so for our audience, why don't we just quickly go where you came from and who you are is extraordinary. So we've never had a guest quite with your story. So don't be shy. But
don't be shy.
You grew up in Mexico and you made your way to America, and you're incredibly successful. You played giant places, have a huge amount of fans. So it's just kind of an American dream, would you call it, or a Mexican dream, or what is it? How are you processing it?
I got here when I was like 4 years old or 5. My brothers and I, with my mom, we came here illegally. My father was already here living in America, and so were all my dad's relatives. They were working for Warner Brothers. It's funny, they all had jobs putting the record inside of the cardboard. They were at the record pressing company.
Oh, fascinating. That's
someone
has to do it.
Man.
Yeah,
dude, it's not bad. I'm telling you, Felipe, I used to work when I moved to LA. I tried stand-up. Of course, I wasn't doing that well because I'm in Glendale, putting the A-Team dolls in boxes in a warehouse to send to anyone who ordered one. But it was kind of boring. But every day I'm like, did they want they want the A-Team actual figure? They also want the headband. Nope, they didn't order that. So I'd have to figure out from the order what they wanted. Tape it up physically. So I'm with you, dude.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm just going to say it. I pity the fool.
You pity me for sure.
Mr. T.
I used to work at the back of North Broadway, where the Broadway warehouse used to be.
Mhm.
And I used to separate all the clothes hangers, the plastic ones.
Oh, yeah.
in
You got to
different
keep them
boxes.
separated.
So I was in a room full of hangers, bro. Like the whole room with hangers. And my friend and I would just get high during lunch and start grabbing hangers all day.
Ugh.
Okay.
I've had those type of jobs. They're just mind numbing. You have to do so. We used to take Dexatrim to wake up. It was like so stupid, but anything.
Did you ever grab your friend by the scruff of his neck and say, "We got to get out of here, man"?
I can't hang here no more. I don't know.
Good night.
I can't do it. I can't hang.
So when you came across the border, okay, illegally, I'm not going to judge, came across illegally. How hard was that? And how old were you? Were you scared? You had your little brother with you, right? Was it scary?
We were kids. I don't remember being scared. I remember being caught. We made it because we made it through the border, like right there around San Isidro, the border. We made it through there, but there was another checkpoint. Like I guess there were Minutemen or something, but there was like the sheriff, the San Clemente Sheriff Department, or somebody there was an extra checkpoint that city made. So they were randomly stopping cars that were on the 5 South, on the 5 North.
Right. Yeah,
I guess. So they stopped us, and our driver was he was a Mexican travel agent, a wild coyote,
He was a coyote, a travel agent coyote.
My friend Rodrigo said, "Yeah, man, it was a Mexican travel agent." So he was American. They let him go. And my mom and my brothers and I, we got arrested. And my mom was released to go back to Mexico. And then we were released like 3 hours later. And we crossed the border and we stood there another month, figuring out plan B. Then we borrowed our cousins' passports. And it was 2 boys and 1 girl on the passport. And my mom looked at my little brother, and said, "Well, I guess you're going to have to be Pati."
Start growing your hair out.
What did you do to make him look like his passport photo? I mean,
oh man, he had to wear a dress for a whole week just to get in character.
Getting character.
Getting character.
Yeah, man, he went all into it, man. And when we got to the border, they had like makeup on him and a little dress. And they asked him, "What's your name?" He goes, "My name is Pati." And he's gay now, but you know what? He took one for the team. Yeah. That's all that matters.
That was nice.
Okay. That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, okay.
He's gay now, starring Philippe. Nothing wrong with any of that. But so was he?
He's a hard top, by the way.
You're looking at your mom as the adult and she's like sinking. Are you reading her feelings at that moment? Like, oh
Too
shit,
little.
We're getting caught. But then really determined, a month later, you go back and then you do this thing and now you're in America.
Yeah.
And? Yeah. When do you figure out like you've got this gift of gab for laughter? Took a while,
we didn't
right?
know, we didn't know everything we did back then was bad. Nobody like sat us down and said, "Hey, everything you did was bad. Don't do it again." And we didn't know we were illegal, man. I remember calling kids illegal, and I was illegal. I remember telling kids go back to El Salvador or go back to wherever you came from, and I should be going with them. My mom would just tell us, "Listen, when you come out of school, don't talk to strangers, don't talk to anybody, just run home."
Jesus, no matter what you're doing in life, just run back home after.
Run back home.
Scary.
Wow. How long did that go on? That kind of fear. When did it turn for you? I mean,
I don't know. I guess when we were in America for a while, and we went back to Mexico to take care of some paperwork, and then we crossed the border, and we went to we went back. We crossed the border, and we went to the section for illegal immigrants, but not the deported ones, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Mexican IDs, and we filed for green cards right there.
How scary. So you went in, it was almost like admitting it. So you're like, here, we're going illegal. 'Cause it's hard to get back second time, I'm sure.
So we had a bunch of, I don't know what we did I know that we had to leave. We had to, we self-deported, I guess. Well, what we did first, we went back to Mexico on our own when we went back. And then, I guess like a week later, we all came in illegally.
How scary though to go back and go. We know once we go back, that could be it.
Yeah, I forgot that part. I never mentioned that part about our voyage, that we actually deported ourselves.
Yeah,
for no and then we decided to come back in the legal way.
And what growing up in Mexico to that age, and then what was your vibe of America? And I kind of want to know. Did you go to Disneyland? I mean, what was it like?
Oh man! First of all, when we got here, the coolest thing was that the bathroom was inside the house, because our bathroom was an outhouse.
And you were that was
inside
an inside bathroom. Blew your mind. Okay.
Yeah, man, and we could flush the toilet.
Do you ever miss an outhouse?
We could flush toilet paper inside the toilet. We couldn't do that at and some houses in Mexico, they'll tell you, hey, don't flush anything down the toilet.
Literally anything, not even poop. Nothing.
Anything, bro. Put it in a little pocket.
Did you have? Yeah, that's funny because
Did you? When did you kind of sort of feel American, or what was that?
I think when we were in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
We went to elementary school, kindergarten, and all the kids were speaking English, and I was the only one who didn't speak English well. But I caught on fast. I started watching American shows. That's all we watched, and we didn't know how to pronounce a lot of words with they had a K in the middle for some reason. Like we didn't know how to say bionic or binoculars or any word with a C in the middle like that.
Yeah,
it was hard for us to pronounce, because my brother would call bionic woman Lion woman.
So what were you watching? I'm sorry. What shows?
We would watch all those shows that were on CBS. For some reason, man, that channel would come in looking good on a TV with no antenna.
Crispy.
Yeah.
So we have no antenna, so whatever channels look good, I guess it was Channel 9, Telemundo, of course. Telemundo, you could break your television, unplug it, and Telemundo will still come off
HD. People say they learn from watching TV? I've been overseas. I don't learn anything from watching a foreign language, but it must be easy, I guess, to pick up phrases, or how do you do that?
Yeah, we watch a lot of movies. My dad, he liked watching movies, so we would go to the drive-ins a lot. And he liked Clint Eastwood and Steve McQueen and Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Charles Bronson. My dad would wear the beanie just like him, even though he was not a vigilante. And he always look at us and go, "Oh, dirty
Charles Bronson."
I saw it. Yeah. Yeah. Charles Bronson used to be a big impression to do in the clubs in the 70s.
Bronson.
There were some good ones.
You couldn't do it, of all people.
Well, I didn't get excited about it. I took basically Spanish for like 8 years. And all I know is Donde está la biblioteca? ¿Cómo está? Y tú, muy bien, gracias.
That's a lot.
Mucho trabajo.
That's mucho.
Because we work with a lot of people from south of the border. We have skilled gardeners, all kinds of people. So
yeah, but I wouldn't take their Spanish for granted, because my dad, he dropped out of school in the sixth grade.
Mm-hmm.
So his Spanish is pretty much basically as good as any American speaking Spanish.
Is it Spanglish? Is that a real thing where it's like
I don't
sort of
know,
a mix?
man. And where I grew up, they call it Chicanics. So there's a mixture of Chicano and English.
Ebonics to
Like
Chicanics.
Chicanics. Hey man, hire the radio.
Hire the radio.
Yeah. Or they say, oh, it makes English and Spanish. Oh, right now I tengo un gran headache. You know what I mean?
Grande, yeah. I know some. Look at that.
Being bilingual and working in both languages, which we get to it, first one to do a special in both languages. What can you tell us about English and Spanish? I mean, is one more romantic? Is one easier, lands harder laughs for you when you do your set in Spanish? Or is it just, it's something we have no experience with?
In one language and they kill the other language.
The phrasing and the timing in English and Spanish is different, right? I mean,
well, what happened with me was that a lot of the words that I was speaking in Spanish were Chicanics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like words that along Mexican Americans in the Southwest have used as Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went to Mexico, those words don't even exist in the Spanish language.
Oh.
Like when I was saying fix my brakes in English, and in Spanish I would add an AS, arregla mis brecas, and brecas is not even a Spanish word.
Oh, it's so like a fake word for brakes.
I don't know how to say brakes in Spanish. Yeah. Apparently, I was just saying because I know that white people, they add an O after every English word when they can't know what to say, like your son is not doing his homework. You know?
Yeah, I did that in Italy.
Yeah, people do that.
We had AS in the beginning when we don't know English. We're like Sprite, you know, or Brecas. Excuse me.
So
I had to go to Mexico and I actually started off open micing in Spanish first, and I started building up a set so I got to 1 hour when I was comfortable in Mexico.
Wait, so in Mexico you're doing a Spanish set, basically of things everyone can relate to there, and then you come over after you got that's an hour's a lot.
Yeah, I translated my jokes first of the hour in English into in their language they could understand.
Okay.
Except some words were play on words, so I had to get rid of the whole joke.
Yeah, for sure.
And by the way, this is on Netflix right now. It was done 2020. Bad Decisions, English Spanish versions.
Translate this, and it's called Malas Decisiones.
Mm-hmm. Malas
you know what's funny? When I was in Tijuana, Mexico, a lot of the audience were people that were deported by all the previous presidents. So there's people there that were deported by President Obama. There were people there deported from Bush. People deported from
Clinton. I don't know.
Clinton. A lot of Clinton gang members.
Was that like a thing? Hey, I'm a Clinton, man. I'm a Clinton deported me.
You got me.
Did you hang out with the people that were deported by your president?
Yes. And I even hung out with a bunch of military Marines that were deported during the last administration. Like there's a whole neighborhood with nothing but deportee military people, like people from that fought in Korea, people who fought in the Gulf War, people who fought in Afghanistan, Iraq, but somehow they got deported.
And then get deported after they do that? That's horrible.
Well, some of these guys have PTSD, so they never really fixed their papers. And some of them are not with it, but they were not born in America, but they were promised citizenship.
Sure.
And some of them didn't go file. I know there's one guy that I spoke to. He's 74. He got pulled over in Echo Park because there was a shooting in Echo Park, and he was coming out of the grocery store with a gallon of milk, and the police they pulled everybody to the side in that area, and they were checking everybody's IDs, and he didn't even know he had a deport on site on his ID, so He went straight to Mexico. He didn't call his family.
Oh
He
man,
was 74.
Yeah.
74, and he thinks he's done with all that, and then they just
He
deport
didn't
him.
seem like the danger is still there.
What's your advice for people in south of our border now with Trump in there? Stay away, come in, try to come legally. I mean, what do you?
Oh man, if you're gonna be here in America illegally, first of all, don't hang around with no gang members. Don't hang around with anybody with a bald head, anybody with a low rider.
Right.
Go to work and come straight home.
Mm.
Straight home. Tell your kids too. Don't hang around with bad people. Just do your job and just live like a normal citizen. And you know, if you're gonna be driving no driver license, man, I will stop at every red light and look both ways.
Even the green one.
So just be boring, and be simple.
Be boring, and they won't get deported. They won't deport you.
Right. I mean, ideally, the idea is to get really horrible troublemakers out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see getting caught in a crossfire of just.
Say again?
I became a U.S. citizen in October.
Really?
Oh, good job.
Wow. After all the specials and all the successes, still they held you out, you know? One thing I was kind of interested, I don't know if you want to go in this direction, but at some point you were kind of seduced by gang life or went in a gang and went through all that. So what was that like? Was it hilarious?
When I was a kid, I hung out with a bunch of kids that were into breakdancing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go to Venice Beach and compete with other kids. But I was never good at breakdancing, but I was good at shoplifting, you know.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
So I was like in charge of merch. So I was in charge of stealing all the white gloves for people, and I would sell them to them.
I used to carry the cardboard in my breakdancing group.
So after breakdancing died out, and then crack cocaine moved into our neighborhood, all my friends got into the same gang, except me. And then they were all like 16 years old, 17, and I avoided them forever. Till I turned 19. I was 20 years old. I was too old to be in a gang, but they still jumped me in.
Oh, you know, Dana, it's funny because in this movie, Busboys, when we join to be a busboy, we get jumped in. And then one time I quit for an hour and I had to get jumped in again. I'm like, God, I quit for 1 hour. And they're like, that's, you know, the rules.
Spade's doing a movie.
I had a joke about that when people were leaving California to live somewhere else. I said, you're leaving California, you should get jumped out first.
Yeah, see, Dana, we know all the
I don't know the lingo. His movie with Theo Vaughn is you guys flee to Mexico or something, right?
No, we get stuck at the border on the way to Mexico. We try to go to Mexico, but we can't get across. So we work at a little restaurant
on the border,
America, and we want to be waiters, so we get job as busboys first to move up in 3 days, but it takes years because we're not any good. But yeah, everyone there is Spanish. I mean, most of the cast, because we're right there.
Should have had Felipe in that movie, man.
We should have, actually. I didn't even know about
He's
Felipe.
too busy. So
you could have turned it down. It would have been great.
So wherever you want to go, but I mean, you're in gang stuff. You get to America. I mean, I just like, when did you do your first set in America? Where was it?
Oh, it was in 1993, probably, or 94, at the Natural Fudge Theater, and it's on Fountain Avenue in Silver Lake.
The Natural Fudge Theater.
Street from that church that Tom Cruise goes to.
Oh yeah, Scientology.
Yeah, that one.
I know it well.
Yeah.
That church. That huge building, you mean? That monstrosity, huge monster.
Yeah, right across the street from that is a theater. It's called the Fountain Theater now, but it was called the Natural Fudge. It was a vegan
studio.
It was a vegan, vegetarian coffee shop. I have no idea that it was vegan till after I left. So it was an open mic on Monday nights with punk rock music. So they have two comedians go up, and then when the comedians are performing, the punk band is behind them setting up their band.
Oh my God.
And then like two bands will perform punk music, and then while they're taking their shit down, three more comedians were performing, And that
Oh,
was,
For the
yeah,
punk audience, which is probably not the
yeah,
best.
it was a lot of punk, Hollywood Runaways, like kids. I think it was 18 and over.
It
I
seems
met
like a rowdy
Jamie
crowd.
Kennedy there.
Jamie Kennedy.
good.
Yeah. Great
I met
comic.
Jamie Kennedy there, Alonzo Bowden, Brian Holtzman. Met a lot of people there.
Do you remember
So
that
Yeah.
Mooney
first set?
Twins,
Do you remember what line killed? Did you have a bit that worked, or were you humiliated, or what
no,
was it like?
I had a line that killed, but it was oh, I said that this is Romeo and Juliet if it was shot in my neighborhood. And then I pretended Romeo was like a crackhead, like I was shaking, with my elbows. I was acting like a crackhead,
Right.
and I was biting my fingers, and I was looking at the floor like a crackhead
Okay.
does, taking rocks to see if they're real.
Of course.
And then I would say,
Of course.
and I was yelling out, Julia, you fucking bitch! Where's my fucking pipe?
That one sounds like it would get a big laugh in a rowdy club. It's high energy.
Yeah, it got a laugh there from the people that were homeless, and then the owner of the place, his name was Johnny Roberts. He had a local access show at Tuesdays at 10 p.m. on Channel 3 on some cable network.
Yeah.
It was just a free public access show, and I didn't know what public access was. I didn't have cable. He walked up to me and goes, "Kid, that was amazing. I want you to be in my show. We tape every Wednesday morning. It's a big comedy show." I thought I made it, right? I thought it was gonna be like one of those.
Yeah.
You thought it was Evening at the Apollo?
But it was local access. And I looked at the way other comedians were dressed, and I went to a thrift store and I bought like a 80s, like a coat, a jacket, and I was trying to find a tie to wear like an 80s comic, but I couldn't find anything. And then the guy at the thrift store, he said, "I don't have a tie, but try this on." And I didn't know what it was. Then I remember somebody told me it's called I don't know what Bobo or I don't know what it was.
Bolo tie. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a metal thing.
Mm-hmm.
I look like Fosse Bear if you were Native American.
That's a good look.
So,
but that sounds like a big deal, though. You're on a TV show, so it's not a big deal. But in your head, it's a compliment. Like, hey, I did a set. They're asking me to come on this show.
We all did that era. I mean,
you should have a show called Loco Access.
Loco Access, yeah.
It's not bad.
So I met these guys there, and then they told me to go to another place that does comedy on Saturday nights called Waldo's Comedy Station. And then I was right on Highland. Back then it was called a Hollywood Hotel. So we did comedy there, and then I finally made it to the Comedy Store.
How much longer? Oh, to do audition for Mitzi? How'd that go?
Yeah.
The original room?
Was it Mitzi back then?
Yeah, it was 5 years later. I think it was like 90.
Oh, shit.
Or something. Mitzi's still there in her booth. This Comedy Store is huge. What happened?
Comedy Store is huge, but not that many people are going to the Comedy Store back then.
Not like now, in a way. Yeah.
Not like now. Oh, dead. There was comedians there that they used to bring their dogs on stage. I mean, back then, man. It was like if you wanted to be a comedian, like if you stuck around those days, you're probably doing well right now because I remember it was like so many people were getting bumped when I first started off, like really bumped. Like I remember there was a big showcase and a bunch of comedians. They were supposed to be seen by Mitzi Shore, and she didn't show up, so the showcase was canceled. But there were a lot of people who actually made that trip from other parts of the country.
Yeah, sure. To audition.
I'm from
Yeah,
Los Angeles, man. I only took one bus, and nobody knew what I was doing. But there were people that from Jersey. They called their parents, and then the Dice Man shows up and does 5 hours on stage. They didn't even get to go up.
Dice? Andrew Dice Clay?
Oh my God.
Oh, put the cigar out on the rise. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This
We know.
chick sucking my
5
dick.
hours on stage. And then, like,
5 hours.
I was waiting. I didn't leave, right? I said, I'll go up. And then
After
Eddie
4,
Griffin
I'm out
shows
of it.
up. He does 4 hours.
Who?
Eddie Griffin.
Oh, Eddie
Is
Griffin.
this a fucking marathon?
4.
He
What's
does
he-
4 hours.
So it's a 9-hour
like,
show. You've seen 2 comics. Okay, who's next?
Yeah, and then at 1:45 in the morning, bro. I go up at 1:45, right before Robert William Abadaya.
Did you say, I only have 2.5 hours of material because I'm new?
Yeah. In like 3 minutes.
Did you?
Dude, let's do a side note, Dana.
Sure.
For the people listening, it's not crazy to think, because I was from Arizona, and if someone said, Mitzi, we'll see you this Monday, I would fly out. It's too important to have someone in the business see you or Bud Friedman at the Improv. So that's a really, really big deal. I understand why everyone came. And if she casually didn't show up, what a heartbreaker.
And also, we all got bumped up in San Francisco where I started. You know, they'd say Robin's here, the great Robin Williams. And I thought I was going to maybe have a 9:30 spot. And then Robin would do 3 hours. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, someone's on acid. Oh, look. Oh, a spaceship. Look.
Oh, it's a Frisbee.
But anyway, he was brilliant. And he would I call it levitate the room. He would kill so hard that you're like, fuck, I got to work harder. Did you see someone early in that time and went, damn, that guy or woman is at another level? Did you have somebody who kind of blew you away and made you want to get better, right?
I saw, what's his name? Dane Cook.
Dane Cook and Dane Cook World when he became
was he kind of at his height?
He was doing Sufi.
Okay.
Whatever it was. Sufi.
What was it?
Okay.
I don't know the bit, but it looks funny.
I like it.
He's flipping you off
He
with
was
2.
saying, he had a bit about, you know, I don't know how to do him, but he'll be like, you know how people they flip you off.
Oh, I see.
And they go, fuck you.
That's right.
But fuck that. It should be a super fuck you called Sufi.
Oh yeah, he told us about this, Dana.
Yeah, I think
something like that, right?
Yeah, he did that. And he would storm around the stage. He was super physical, hyper confident, really clear with his jokes. And he's that highly skilled to follow that, you know.
Yeah, and I remember people would have it tattooed. Women would have it tattooed on the back of their butt like a stamp, the Sufi.
Oh boy.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't run into any of those.
When did you have women trying to hit on you, or what? I know you're happily married now. We don't want to go into it, but some women love funny men.
Hell yeah, man! I had people tattooed my name on their back. I'm not even famous.
Sure.
You had a young lady.
You look.
Yeah.
By the way, he looks young. I thought you were like 28 or something.
I had a woman in Las Vegas. She told me to autograph her arm, and she was like 21, and I was like 40. And I tattooed. I wrote my name sloppy on her arm, right? She had a little chubby arm, you know. My pen was getting
it's
stuck.
hard to do.
Yeah, so I wrote Felipe on it, and then later on, she sent me a photo of her in a thong with not showing her boobs, but showing her ass, and then her arm, and she had tattooed right there, Felipe on
she
her arm.
tattooed over your autograph.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's something people do. I like that.
You want to bring her home to mom. That's somebody, you know.
Hell yeah, man.
Especially with her next boyfriend.
So also,
that was cool.
So
you're at least 40. That's
so
good.
You're 45. You look 27 now.
Yeah, you do look young.
No, I'm not 45. I'm 55.
Get out of town.
I just told Dana you look so young. I don't know.
Black don't crack, beige don't age, and
man.
white ain't right.
Also, I don't drink, so that helped too.
Yeah, the booze face, it can really age you, you know. So now, I mean, just because we have limited time, you're doing the clubs. I just curious, when's the first time it became your job? Like, okay, I'm a stand-up, and that's how I earn money. I don't need any side hustle. How long?
Well, I had child support. They were coming after me, and they were garnishing my paycheck, so I was making half. So that kind of helped me decide to quit my regular job since I wasn't making no money anymore at my regular job.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So I just went straight to doing stand up, and then like in '96, they were doing this big stand up show in San Antonio, Texas. Some guy named Jeff Valdez and the owner of the River Center Comedy Club, Kylene and Jeff Borshaw. I don't know their names, but they produced a show for Showtime called the Latino Laugh Festival, hosted by Daisy Fuentes and Paul Rodriguez.
Yeah.
They try to grab all the Latino comedians they can find, and I was one of the younger ones that actually auditioned for the show and got it. I met comedians there who I didn't know were Latino, like Greg Giraldo and John Mendoza.
Was Giraldo?
No,
I didn't
all
know
those
that.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know Greg. I was very shocked to see John Mendoza because I always thought he was Irish, but I guess he's Puerto Rican and Irish, and he was one of my favorite comics.
And Paul Rodriguez was the original Latino comic, at least at the Improv. You know, he was.
Or the store.
It was.
The American Express card. What did he bring? A knife with him?
Consequently, Paul Rodriguez always starts off his sentences with a big word, so they're gonna be like, consequently.
Consequently.
That's a huge over their head. You can. I was the first one I heard say stuff like that. You can laugh now, but my cousin Julio is stealing your hubcaps.
Yeah,
that brought down the house at the Improv in 1985.
Yeah, man. I remember the first time I saw him was in a glimpse of television. Before I wanted to be a comedian, my dad was like, he would change the channels from CBS, Dukes of Hazzard, all the way back to the UHF channel 34. But he could go left, just go left and boom, he's there, right? He's there, boom, he'll be at channel 34.
Yeah,
but he likes to mess with us, and he'll turn the knob on to see all the channels, so he could see everything we're missing. So what I was like Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie, pointing like this. Whoa, wait, don't change it. Mexican on TV. And Paul Rodriguez, he was doing his set on that show, aka Pablo. He said the bit was he goes, I remember when my family came over from Mexico, it was 17 of us in an inner tube. And we were singing, ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move.
Kill.
Yeah, he always killed. So last comic standing, you make your way, you're going through the clubs, you're doing well, and then something happens. It's a big moment, right? Winning.
Yeah, man. When I won that comic standing, it was $250,000. And my son's mom fought for child support the next day.
Oh, they wanted a little slice, wet the beak
the last
a little bit.
baby mama standing.
Dude, she's like, we won.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Daddy's funny. We're going to get a swimming pool.
Finally, he's responsible.
Yeah, well, that's a big one to win that. And then Last Comic Standing, is that the one? I think Todd Glass, you don't remember this, but
yeah, man. Shout out to Peter Ingalls, the producer of the Last Comic Standing and Saved by the Bell. He passed away, I think, a week ago.
Oh,
okay. Well, get that shout out to him somehow. And also, so you get that. Now, what are you? Are you immediately a headliner, or were you already a headliner?
Yes. As soon as I win Last Comic Standing, we go on a 80-city tour all over America.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's tough.
We're hitting
and you headline
Inglewood, Pennsylvania, bro. Places I only hear in songs.
Yeah. Traffic reports. You wait. Yeah. How do you do it? Do you go with some other like runners up, and you're like the headliner?
Yeah, all the people that were on the show. I think it was Mike DiStefano, Roy Woods Jr., Mike Kaplan, and the other guy who was second place, Tommy John again. We all went on tour. We all were doing 20 minutes on stage for 80 cities. on a tour bus.
Was it a bus? Okay, a bus. Wow.
Those guys are good too. Does anyone start getting too good on the trip? Like, or do they rotate you, or you always headlining?
Everybody. It was the order how we won. So I was always last.
Shit, that's tough.
Literally the last comic standing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did anyone kill before you? And as you're crossing onto the mic to close the show, they just kind of say to you, "Follow that, motherfucker." Did that ever happen?
Yes. You know what? What was saving me from that was there was an intermission.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got
Mike
lucky.
Stefano, he was murdering. He passed away also.
God bless him.
He had HIV, and on the show he had HIV also, and he was an ex-heroin addict, so he was all messed up. But he ended up. I thought he was my biggest competition because he was likable on stage, and his type of comedy is very popular now. So he was doing a lot of dark comedy back then.
Yeah.
That's kind of, it's like acceptable now. And he was likable. And I really thought he was going to win. But this guy was murdering, bro. Like when we did San Francisco, we did the Fillmore. I remember him saying, I knew there was a lot of gays in San Francisco, but goddamn, I tripped over a dick on the way in here. You know? And everybody's going crazy. Yeah. And he would say stuff like, oh man, I got into a fight with a Guatemalan guy, and he said, "Fuck you, I'm not Guatemalan." He goes, "I'm Puerto Rican." Listen, motherfucker, I'm not anthropology. I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
When you go on these tours, so you get $250 to win, and do you get a set fee every night as part of your deal to tour, or is it part of your $250? Because you guys should make some money.
We had it was $250,000 for the winning the show, plus whatever they were giving us to headline was $3,000 for me. Some show was $3,000 for one show.
3,000 a night.
Oh, so you're playing pretty big rooms.
Good.
You're playing theaters. 2,000 seats. Okay.
Places that a normal comic headlining by himself will probably make 52,000 maybe.
Oh shit.
Yeah, some of the places were 3,000 seaters, 4,000 seaters. They're all sold out.
And you're only getting 3, but so they're going to make some money too.
Plus,
normally you'd make a lot.
So that's
more.
Another 240,000. On top of the 250 pre-tax, you're looking just south of 500K.
Yeah, and also I had a development deal with NBC that went nowhere.
Oh,
but you get paid up front for that, right?
Yeah,
that's nice. It's nicer if they find a show for you, but yeah. That's for the people at home. They give you money up front to hold you for a year to maybe find a show for you, something like that.
Yeah, what happened? I had a TV deal with a comedian named Dustin Ibarra with ABC, and they paid us money not to. It's funny. I never thought that they'll pay you money not to work and pay you money for saying no.
Yes, they call it a holding deal. They take you off the field. Now, by the way, a little birdie told me, a gentleman told me that you had a run-in with Eddie Murphy. What was that? What was that about?
Oh man, I was on a set of You People, Jonah Hill movie.
Jonah Hill,
recent.
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy, we're like in a stripper scene in Hollywood, a bunch of strippers. And man, one of those strippers in the movie was an actual stripper. She ended up giving somebody a laptop for $2,000 on a set when nobody was around. Horny ass bitch.
Horny ass bitch. That's a special name. That's your next special.
Yeah, man. So Eddie Murphy walks in and he looks right at me and he goes, "Man, you're a funny motherfucker, man." And I'm like, "Oh man, just shitting myself." And I forgot. I had one line in the movie and I forgot it when he told me that.
So he knew you. That's great.
Yeah, Eddie is. He's cool.
And then the next day, Jonah Hill comes up to me. "Hey man, wasn't that rad the way Eddie Murphy told you were funny in front of everybody?" Wasn't that rad? And then that was cool.
Wasn't that rad?
And then Andrew Schultz, he mentioned on his podcast that was cool. And the director of the movie came up to me, said that was cool. And then the next day he comes back to do the same scene, and he tells me hello only. not everybody, just telling me hello now.
Whoa.
And then the next day, same thing. Then I'm getting paranoid, I'm like, okay, man, you're trying to get everybody in this set to hate me now.
Yeah, I'm not liking you already because of this.
Hey, Eddie, could I get a "you're a funny motherfucker" just to start the day? You don't have to do it, but if I could get a "hey, you're a funny motherfucker."
No, you go, tell this guy he's okay too.
He has like 3 people that look like him on the set. I don't know, like, you got to be nice to
really, because of a fear of being shot or something. He's got lookalikes.
Yeah, he has
like stand-ins and
he has
wide shot guys.
When you read the lines to Eddie Murphy, like he's reading lines to you, but when it's your turn to get the camera, he leaves, and then you get a stuntman.
Oh, you get the other guy.
Oh, really? That's kind of a movie star move. Catch you all later. So
he gets to do that. That's
so okay. Now we're at a point where this is pretty. You've done a lot since 2017. Yeah. These four specials in 7 years. The current one on Netflix right now, Raging Fool. And by the way, I just want to ask you something stylistically and when it started, because I really like the way you move on stage. Like you're telling jokes and you're moving forward, and then you're moving backward. And then a lot of guys go side to side or just stick to the mic. But there's this little kind of physical thing you do, almost like a boxer. You kind of back up, you come in, you land it, and then you do this move back. It's pretty cool to watch. It's a little bit like you're dancing up there. So when did that come in? Or was it just someone pointed it out to you, or you just do it organically?
I was nervous before. When I was on Last Comic Standing, I had a coat with a little tiny tie, and I had a pocket, and I used to always hold on to the pocket and move it like this. Mm-hmm. You know the way Rodney, then you go, hey.
Yeah.
I get like no respect.
I was an ugly baby, I tell you. When I was born, the doctor slapped my mother. Hey, we love him. So from nervousness, you did that, and now that you're confident, you just sort of kept it as a signature in a way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also, I try not to do it so much because I feel like if I know the joke is funny, I start moving fast, like I'm like a pitcher giving away his knuckleball.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have our way. David,
it's funny when you got a bit in your act that you know is going to kill, or you think it is. You give it a big wind up, doesn't work. You go, what the fuck?
I think you stay quiet. You slow down when your punchline is going to come. I feel like when the big punchline is going to come, maybe with your perfect timing, you do your stand-up timing. But I noticed that you start to get a little quiet, and then there's like a big explosion.
David will modulate that way, and he's never thirsty up there, as the people would say.
No,
he's
and very. There's so many, like, I remember watching your Young Comic show when you're doing the special. You said you saw U2, and you had little bullshit seats right here, but you were way over there, and they were you didn't know what the fuck they were saying.
Oh, he was yelling "No war," and I was yelling "No more." I didn't know what he meant.
And like, there's so many, like, oh man, not as a comic like me, like, there's so many tags left. There's more to the joke you could have done.
Oh yeah, I kept going.
He takes a shit out of stuff.
My favorite one is, oh man, a woman. She was a sharp pain in her hand while she's doing dishes. 6 miles away, her daughter is giving somebody a hand job.
A hand job. Oh my God, that was Time Life Books. A woman doing the dishes feels a cramp in her hand.
I feel like you may have been.
That's great. That's a great memory.
What a
Good
memory.
job.
I mean, you're kind of maybe influenced by Dave in the sense that you have a high ratio of laugh points and punchlines in your stories. Like boom, 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 consistently. And David does tell a story, but just subtly starts building all the punchlines. The masseuse bit you're doing.
If you can have little tent poles in it before you get to like the big ending, it keeps them around. That's the hard part, though.
Like I have one of my specials, because I remember I saw a woman with a tattoo, and she had a Ouija board tattoo, like a Ouija board tattoo in her back. It was very dark, and I was like, oh man, imagine being, who am I? What's my name? You gotta hold her back, like, all right, let's find out, bitch. Who the fuck you are?
Why does it have to be, bitch? Who the fuck you are? Can it be, hi, ma'am? Let's check this out. But Yeah, that was so. Good Lord, I don't know.
Look at this. I'm looking at everything. Well, you did a
lot.
It's nice to meet you finally, and this is great. And thank you for coming on. Look at you got so much. 4 specials is a lot.
I remember I remember like when I was bummed out about, oh man, they're not fucking headlining me. Oh, you know, when you go to the 12-year mark when you see all your friends making it and you're not headlining.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember you said, David, that you had to leave the Tempe Improv and go make it so Dan Muir could headline you.
God, the old thing. Because I'm from Tempe, it was even more embarrassing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't. But sometimes you think you have longer material and it's not as good. You think you've got an hour, and other people I don't think you do. And so, you have to be you have to be a little harder on your material. So you go, I got a good. Because you can do a great hour, and the next time you can do your set, and it's like 46 because you didn't get as many laughs. You're like, oh shit, I don't think I have. And the waitresses are putting down the checks. Oh, and you're like, oh, I got 1 minute left. Wait a second,
they're doing math during your closer.
Oh,
it's
the
horrible.
Checks are the
fucking
toughest,
checks. 20%. Give it to me. I'll do the math.
Checks go out right toward the end of your act, and then you get like a built-in lull while they try to figure out who's paying for the potato skins. That's a hard one. You got to get past that when you're a headliner. You're like, shit, I got to stay alive during this.
Jesus. Or the comedian before you bring an opener that's a killer.
Oh, yeah. They give you an opener and a middle that kills. When you do good as a middle, that was my problem is I was doing good as a middle going, I could headline, and then I'm following a good middle, which is hard. And also you got the checks to deal with. And you're like, oh, shit, I don't think I'm ready for that.
Then you realize you picked up on more chicks as a middle hanging out by the bathroom than a headliner.
Oh, that's true. You just got to hang out. You stand by the door when everyone leaves. Hey, did you like the middle? All right. Well, thank you, Felipe.
Well, just for 1 minute, because he'll be listening to this. We have a mutual friend. So Larry Bubbles Brown, who's the famous San Francisco comedian who I've known for years, really good friends, tours with Felipe. Offered him a lot of opening spots. Oh, and he's someone with he sort of plays a sad sack character. And after each line, I lost my identity, or someone stole my identity. Now they can't get laid. So let me give you how do you do it? How do you do his meh?
Ma.
Ma.
There's another one. I forgot how he says. I don't know. I can't remember his jokes right now. There's another guy that's friends with him. Mm-hmm. He's from Minnesota, and the other kind of like similar. He's more darker. His name is Chuck Bartel,
and he's dark.
Opens up for Tom Papa sometimes.
Oh, Tom Papa.
But this guy Chuck Bartel, he has no social media. Like you can't even find him. But he has very dark humor. He has a joke where he says that what did he say? I got kicked out of a Chinese restaurant I forgot my reading glasses. And I went to a Chinese restaurant. They kicked me out for squinting.
ChuckBartell.com. Check him out.
Yeah, find him.
Murr.
So anyway,
you know about Murr? I took him with me to. I took me with me to open up in Hawaii at the Blue Note. Mm-hmm. And the whole time we were there, he had a hernia.
Oh, well, he still has the hernia. He's afraid to get surgery, right?
But I'll be with a hooker anytime. Murr.
I got a hernia. All right. Thanks, Felipe.
Thanks, Felipe.
Thanks for having me.
This has been a presentation of Odyssey. Please follow, subscribe, leave a like, a review, all the stuff. Smash that button, whatever it is, wherever you get your podcasts. Fly on the Wall is executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Jenna Weiss-Berman of Odyssey, and Heather Santoro. The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman. Up next today, we've got Fortune Feimster, who I have called Feimster, and one of them is wrong. I'm not going to tell you which one.
I know, and I've called her Fartoon Feimster.
I've called her Fartune.
I did it as Jules Brenner. Fartoon. Fartoon, our people worship you, Fartoon.
She's really fun. We've done a lot of stuff together.
She
and,
was, as David would say, a blast.
Yeah, she's a blast. She's light on her feet, laughs the whole time. We talk about a lot about stand-up. We talk about closing bits, how you decide on a closer. That's sort of inside baseball, but people like that. We talk about butt massages, I think.
We did. She told a very funny story about butt massages, and there's a twist ending, so stay tuned for that. But
Never see it coming, never.
She was full of fun and joy.
We talk about naming our comedy specials. You know, we talked, each of us had a name for special, and how the arduous process of a name that no one's going to remember anyway. Naming tours, all that.
Yes, and the process of building a new hour. She's one of those people, again, that makes you a little bit like, whoa, just can really get kind of a new hour in a period of a few weeks.
New hour of stand-up is very hard for most stand-ups. She's very quick. She writes fast and she grinds it. She's on the road grinding it, like Nikki Glaser. They're all out there grinding. Nate. These people are doing like 100 dates a year. It's unreal. But anyway, here she is. I hope you enjoy her. We had a really, really good time with her. Here's Fortune.
She's adorable. Here she is, Fortune.
Beamster. Is Fortune here?
Yes.
What was your nickname? Like I was,
we're going right at it.
Because Fortune is such a great name. So nice to have you, and thanks for coming on.
Hi, Dana.
We are not Smartless. So they're the Borg. We are the little engine that could. Nice to meet you. I'm just curious, right? Because I saw your name in print. Fortune, like, hey, fortune cookie. I mean, what was it? What did they do with that? Because that's such a cool name.
Yes, my family was big on fortune cookies. That was no. It's an old family name. My grandmother's mom. It's her maiden name. So there's a bunch of Fortunes in my family with the last name Fortune.
Oh, and is that French?
Fortune. I don't know. It was kind of a nod to my grandmother. It's technically my middle name, but it's what I started to go by.
It's such a good showbiz name. And, you know, if you do a special, your next one, maybe you call it Fortune 500 Minutes of Comedy. That's too many.
Or you call it Fortune Cookie, and you make cookies while you do your stand-up?
That would be good. Although 500 minutes, I would need a lot more minutes.
It feels long, yeah.
Yeah. I might lose some viewers.
People jump off after about 8 minutes of a special. I think I read that.
If someone says to me one more time, you got to drop into the algorithm. You got to make peace with the algorithm.
Fucking algo guy.
I'm so fucked about the algorithm. We're living with an algorithm. I don't know.
Yeah.
How are you trending? What's your numbers like? Feeling good?
Oh yeah, I'm always trending.
You're always shaking the tree.
That's right. This tree right here.
Is that an office that looks kind of like, you look sort of like you're on a patio and you're outside?
No, it's just a corner of my office.
It's kind of cool because you have like boards instead of just.
Well, this is, I don't know. This is like the trend now in houses is to make a wall. I don't know, have texture.
Look outdoor.
Oh, textured wall.
A textured wall. It's not like Spades with the skateboards
the
on the wall.
Shrine. If someone says texture to me again, I'm going to blow my top. No, I'm kidding. I'm mad about.
You hate that word.
Algorithm is my number one hateful word.
I don't really understand algorithms and why they.
Because you're not a computer. They're like, this is what we like. This, and people are like, feed your algo. I go, I'm trying, but I don't know what that means.
The algo's mad. The algo's mad.
Well, one site's like, don't post too much. It's not good for the algorithm. And then the other sites are like, you're not posting enough. The algorithm is mad. You're like, oh my God.
And don't delete one. If you delete one, the algo goes back to 0 and you have to win it over again.
Really?
Yeah.
See, there's all these
another
things.
one is people say to me is don't look thirsty. Don't look too thirsty.
Yeah.
Don't do a byline on a clip that looks like you're kind of looking for clicks. It has to not look too thirsty. Is that the correct use of that, David? Because you say thirsty a lot. It looks a little thirsty. Don't look thirsty.
I want to see Dana start posting thirst traps.
Yeah. That's Dana with his shirt off, working out in the
Hey, man,
give us what we want.
Let's just put it this way. You saw The Golden Bachelorette. I lived it.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, but it sounds funny. I'm doing 2 thumbs pointing to me.
Just point.
No, I'm in good shape for the shape I'm in. It's everything's fine.
It's working.
Don't Wikipedia my name, Fortune.
Fortune, you have a professional microphone. Is that part of the podcast situation you have right now?
Yeah, you have your podcast. Do you want to promote it? Don't you have one?
Yeah, I have a podcast called Handsome with Tig Notaro, myself, and Meg Martin.
That's right. I've seen that in the top 10. I mean, you guys are a hit, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. We're about 6.5 months in, 8 million downloads. We're just being silly and laughing, and
it's hard not to look at those charts.
I know. So you're looking at what, 6 months, 8 million downloads. Was that like $750 a month, or what is that?
What's the algorithm?
Well, I used to be a CPA. I just like numbers.
I'm not good with numbers, but yeah,
you're doing fine.
Yeah,
it's really fun. We have somebody ask us a question. It kind of leads what the podcast is going to be about, and it's us just being ridiculous for an hour.
Is that how it works? That you have a question and you run off that?
Yeah.
Do you mind if we borrow that idea for our, our other
that's
podcast?
Not a bad hook,
because we're fresh out of bullets. So thank you. Let me write that down.
Yeah, write it down.
You just changed my life.
Listen, the clip's been empty for a while, Dana. Let's be honest.
Take a question and do an hour of witty.
Give us an example of something.
You guys are doing more than fine. This podcast is always up there on the charts, baby. Right?
Jeez, I can't look because I'm too sensitive. We are up there, huh?
Yeah.
I don't look at anything.
I love you guys together. This is a great combo.
Well, we love you.
What? Give us an example of like a question that you could jump off on.
Oh God.
Is it just something vague, or is it advice?
Like Reese Witherspoon asked us, like, what was your favorite holiday gift? And so we did that at Christmas. Colbert asked us, like, do you have any woo-woo beliefs?
You're asking celebrities.
Yes.
Not just fans.
People.
we don't want just anyone asking a question.
Fortune, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but what question would you ask our podcast, The Super Life, if you were going to ask a question? Not saying we're going to use this, but what would it be?
Well, because you guys come from rarefied air, I would ask some sort of SNL question. I would be like, what was the hardest part of working on SNL, or something like that? Some inside baseball thing.
Oh yeah, we get too inside. Actually, we're talking about every meeting and every office in that 17th floor.
We have dissected. We have 150 hours of minutia. Well, the meetings are on Monday with the host.
Yeah.
The rest of it. Did you ever have a thing about SNL being a cast member?
Yeah, that was like my North Star forever. I grew up watching. I watched both of you guys. Huge fan of both of you. And
well, isn't that special?
I mean, come on, Church Lady was a big part of my childhood, and doing your dance. I mean,
superior dance,
this one with the elbows up.
I don't know where it came from. I heard Steve Martin when he was on the show, when I was doing the read through, I heard him say under his breath, "What kind of mind thinks of this?" Because it was like your bulbous buttocks are throbbing. You're not, But
y'all were my guys. I mean, Wayne's World, Spade telling people bye-bye. I mean, it was all of it. So I'm from a tiny town in North Carolina, so that was my only access to comedy. And I would watch the sketches, I would record them on my VCR, and then I would go to like softball or tennis practice and sort of recite these sketches for people. And then I ended up testing twice for SNL, 2009, 2010.
Didn't test positive.
I did not test positive. It was a cool experience, though.
We get people on who have that experience. And then I always say, God, there's so many inputs to being at the right place, the right time. It's not an outright rejection at all. It's literally people in the room going, "Oh, Fortune was really funny, and your cards on the board."
Yeah,
but also Barbara was great, or Bill, whatever it is. So did you feel hurt by not getting it? Were you close, or what did you think?
I mean, obviously that had been the dream for so long that not getting it was so disappointing, but I just, now that I'm at the place I'm at in my life, I can see why it didn't work out. And I've weirdly enough gone on to work with so many SNL people. Even doing Keenan's sitcom, I worked with Lauren. He was the
there you
producer of
go.
that.
Well, that means they loved you from the audition and remembered you.
I was pretty green. I mean, I was in advance at the Groundlings when my first audition happened. So I hadn't even gotten the experience yet of Sunday Company and doing sketches every week. I feel like I might have auditioned maybe 2 years before I was really
no hard feelings.
Well,
fist bump.
I would say that yours, because I saw your special, and I would say there's a likability thing that happens with certain performers. I mean, I can see it when I look at certain people like Steve Carell or whatever.
Yeah.
And you do have that.
Oh, thank you.
Big time. And it's very cool to see the audience so charmed by you in your special.
Enchanted.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're essentially clean. You're 99% just clean.
Yeah.
And you're doing stuff about dodgeball and stuff. It's just sort of, it's charming. But anyway, they blew it.
Well,
you should go back now.
I didn't even do stand up in my audition, which is wild to me now because I do feel like stand up obviously is a strong point for me.
Yeah.
My first audition was all characters, and then I felt like I gave them all my best characters. So my second summer, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I should have just done stand up.
Well, can you
share?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you do a few characters. But do you mind just telling us what the characters you auditioned with?
Well, it's funny. The first audition, I only had like
Brenda.
I got called at like 3 p.m. on like a Wednesday, and they were like, "Can you be on a plane tonight?"
What am I, a booty call?
They always do that.
Yeah, it was crazy. They're like, "Can you be on a plane tonight?" And you're gonna audition at like noon tomorrow. So I was freaking out, but I almost like that better. I had less time to freak out. Yeah.
So
my
booty callback.
My first audition actually, I thought went pretty well. I did Richard Simmons, obviously.
Obviously.
Well, you look so much alike.
I did a Hooters waitress that I was doing at the time. What was funny is that I layered my clothes. So I started with my regular outfit doing, I can't remember what characters I did. And then I ended with taking that top layer off, and it was the Richard Simmons tank top.
The closer.
Then underneath, that was a Hooters tank top.
There's more. Oh my god!
And by the end of the audition, I had a pile of clothes, and I ended my audition, and I did feel like a stripper that was like, "Okay, the lap dance is over."
Scraping it up
because it is kind of quiet, no matter who you are. It's just a few people. Oh,
yes.
Good. Okay, you missed something. Your shoes are over there. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there's like you see those 3 lamps in the corner, look like, and I'm gathering my clothes. Like, okay, thank you,
Lauren. Do you have any Tide Pods?
So I'll never forget that part of it.
Did you have a ripcord at all, or was it just sort of unbutton, get it off?
Just taking it off.
No Velcro. You weren't on the show yet. When you get on the show, it's all Velcro.
Oh, and let me also add that I took my pants off because of course underneath my pants were shorts. Because hello, Hooters waitress.
Dedicated.
So the pants didn't just come off. You had to get on a chair and get them off.
I had to kick my shoes off, pull my pants down. It was a whole. I mean, I was.
Jeez, it sounds kind of sexy.
Dana, I hate.
How did I not get that job? That's
Listen,
crazy.
What I don't like, Dana, and this is not on the subject. When you're watching a porn, and I know you guys don't, but when you're watching a porn, everything's going great.
Boring.
And they're about to do it. And then they both sit down and start taking off their pants. And the guy's got to pull his Levi's over his shoes. I'm like, just take your shoes off. And then I'm like, God. And then it's all stuck and he's got to sit down and he lays on the floor. I go, can we just trim this part? Like,
well, I love that
I'm mad, Dana.
Analyzing. Spade has notes.
I write in the comments at the bottom. I go, I liked it. I did.
Yeah.
So the algo went crazy. I'll put this image in your head, Fortune, because you like Wayne's World. So Mike had one of the best reveals ever. He was touring with me, and he would come out as Wayne with the whole outfit on, and do these jokes. It's killing anyway. And then sprockets would come on, and he had a spring mechanism that he's suddenly, and then the wig comes off, his hair slicked back. So he's the German, he's Dieter, and he's strutting around with the music. And I go, fuck, I got to follow this.
Yeah.
This is
wow.
It would crush just the suddenness of
that is wild.
Yeah. Hi, Mike, if you're listening.
Yeah. Hi, Mike. Man, God, you guys were the best. That was, you are the best, but that was just such a huge part of my childhood. God.
I told you, Dana, Fortune is likable, so watch out.
I know. You better watch out.
I told him, watch out. Don't fall for it. She's very... Fortune and I have worked on a few things. And, Fortune, you won't remember this, but we were on a show called After Party.
I do remember that.
Okay. That was for
in
a
the
year.
thick of COVID.
Into the thick of it. Yeah, we were... the funny thing about this was, Dana, you knew Lights Out because you did it and Fortune did it. And we had...
my favorite talk show.
That show is so good.
Intimate.
That show should still be on the air.
I do hear more. I hear more about it after. But when we were doing that, our old buddy and your buddy, Ted Sarandos, would come sometimes, right? He was just a comedy guy. So he would pop by. Netflix was close by. So anyway, So when we got word fired is strong. When we got COVID let go,
fired. It was the
COVID came really, and they had a new boss, and they said we're going to get rid of everything.
But, the new regime.
Yeah. So he called and said, Ted called and said, "Hey, is there a way we could do that over at Netflix? Because we did like that, I think the stipulation was at the end if you could interview someone from one of the Netflix shows for 8 to 10 minutes." After you do your panel, and I'm like, well, yeah, because we were always looking for like a fourth act, like the closing act anyway. So it'd be like a monologue and then some comedians blabbing about shit. And then maybe we'd film something and then interview someone. I said, that's actually perfect. What happened was we got me, Fortune, and London in there, London Hughes, and we had Bill Burr on the first one. And what happens is Ted hands it off, and then it gets handed off. And then by the time we start shooting, it's not Lights Out anymore.
No,
And unfortunately, it just turned into like an hour commercial for whatever show.
Just for the people listening. So this was Ted got you two together, and then you were doing like sort of a show that was about Netflix shows, loosely based, right?
It was supposed to be the same thing as Lights Out.
Oh,
yeah, comics.
Supposed to be Lights Out, then it turns into Entertainment Tonight.
It was originally supposed to just be comics, kind of do it, just like joking around,
sitting
with each
around
other.
And doing what we do, and we had Bill. And the first one, they said let's do Bill Burr, and then someone from Netflix, and I'm like, oh, only one comic. Okay, well, so it sort of just got changed. And, all those things are well-intentioned, like whoever's in charge, the English guy. And he said, well, we'll do this because it works here in England. And then the second show, how about no comic? And it's that fast. We're like, wait, this is really different. So
it was odd because Spade's a very famous guy. You've been around, like, you're suddenly interviewing, like, Fate the Wink Saga. Love is Blind. And you're like, why is Spade interview? You know what I mean? It was like, what's happening?
And I didn't even claim to know enough about it. I go, maybe London should do this one because she's more into it. She knows things I don't know. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. And they're like, don't read the cue cards. I'm like, I don't know what show this is. I don't.
They would be like, so Jenny and Georgia. Which one of you's Jenny? And which one of you's Georgia?
They're like, I go, I've seen every episode. Now, which one's Jenny? And I go, oh, you might figure that out after a few episodes.
You've watched 7 seasons, but that's your first question.
I really did like Jenny and Georgia. That was a fun one because I did watch it.
Yeah.
And she was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
But the farther it went along, I started, whatever. I mean, there's no real blame.
You didn't need to be interviewing people about their show.
I just turned into something else, and it was well-meaning. I still like Lights Out-ish. I mean, maybe we'll do a panel show one day.
It was fun to do, like, because in that we got to hang and laugh, and it was during the thick of the pandemic when people weren't working. But yeah, I think that first episode did so well. It was like the numbers were like insane that then they were like, "Whoa, wait, what?" And then a bunch of cooks were in the kitchen.
Yeah, they go, if this worked. It would work even better if we changed it all.
It would work. It works so well. We should change it a lot.
Are you telling me, wait a minute, are you guys telling me that the suits of the hierarchy will take something that's working and inject their clueless ego and destroy the souffle?
Well,
Is that
listen,
your premise?
I'm saying it happens on every show, and sometimes it works, sometimes it makes the show better. In this scenario, it didn't play to anything I did well, so I'm have to blame because I was half checked out going, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Like,
well, it wasn't the show that you came in with that was working and was
I didn't do a monologue
great
after
for
a while.
you.
I didn't do any goofing on comedians anymore. So it just came, hi, I'm David Spade. And tonight we talk to the cast of, mostly it's a new show. And you go, I have to go watch it because we're telling everyone who these people are. No one knows sometimes.
You were basically Mario Lopez.
Yeah. And you
who
were,
we love.
You were Maria Menounos.
Who we love.
We're great at
we love him
people.
very much. He's tremendous. Sorry.
The Karate Kid one was fun because we did a sketch about him.
That was
with
fun.
Ralph? With Ralph Macchio?
Cobra Kai,
yeah. Cobra Kai. Well, it sounds like a great show. I'm just going to write down reboot. What was the name of it?
No need.
It was called what was
No
it?
Need? No Need?
No,
that's
no
a
need to
horrible name
reboot
for
it.
the algo. No Need.
That was called After Party.
After Party, yes.
Fortune, if you had that experience, just based on what, taking David Spade, really funny, all-time funny, and then making him kind of the straight interviewer. Have you had experiences where they take you, funny, and then somehow make you unfunny? They
I'm sure.
kind of, it happened to me a lot, when I wasn't writing it. you know. But what was your worst experience in a show? And we want names.
Gosh, I'm trying to
has it been a golden career?
No, I mean, there's definitely some misses. I mean, I definitely think so. I went from Mindy Project was my first series regular. I had just come off of Chelsea lately, and loved it. And they wrote so well for me. I didn't have to think about anything. I literally just would show up. It was the best job. And then we went from that to a show called Champions, that was on NBC, and same group, similar group of people, but it was a new show, so it was trying to find its way. I definitely think that was a character I didn't really know what that character was, and I was overacting and like intense, and I was like, oh, this is not working.
You mean like you were trying to go for the laughs a little harder?
Yeah,
it still wasn't hard. Clicking.
Yeah, because I think the pressure of it being a new show and we're like, where's the funny? I was I was pushing too much. Yeah.
It happens on stage with comics too, myself included, where when you're getting a tough crowd, you start to go bigger. You can't, or you bring out the profanity. It's just so, or you speed it up. There's so many classic things you do that are wrong.
Yeah. The last one I did, I only had one shot at it because the air conditioner went out the first night, shooting a special. So then that wasn't usable because it was sweating. People were leaving.
So
it's kind of like you work on something for 6 months. You got one shot. Here he comes. So very hard not to kind of push a little bit, but full circle back to your special, totally relaxed. Didn't feel like you were recording. Was that what I seen was real? I mean, you didn't look like you're pushing it all.
That's
I
good.
don't know what you felt.
I don't get nervous, obviously, with live shows. I only get nervous when I'm filming. So there is that pressure to be like you said, I got 2 shows to get this right. I've been touring for so long with this material. I don't want it like tonight to be like the dud. I think once I think I'm a little stiffer on the first show. And then if I get that, at least the beats down, then I'm like, oh, I have the baseline there. Now I can just be.
You can always pull, because people at home don't know. You sort of usually combine the shows.
Yeah.
You do the same act twice. Then you go, that joke worked better in here. The one about the propeller worked better in the second show. And you kind of patch it together. But also, I think on mine, everyone had a mask on and I didn't know.
Yeah.
So when I went out, the laughs were noticeably
muffled.
And I'm like, oh my God. Because the first thing you don't want to think after your first joke is, oh my God, they're a tough crowd. It's my crowd and they're tough.
Yeah, I'm having to win. I'm having to win over the people that already like me.
Yeah, I'm winning over my own crowd that paid.
That's
I'm like,
bad.
and they don't. But after I get off, they go, God, it was tough because they were all muffled. I go, oh, they were with the N95, like super non-laugh muffler, comedy killer. And then I knew it.
You couldn't see it from the stage that anyone.
No,
you're like, dark. I don't want to look at anyone.
And then I'm like, why? And then I thought, God, why is this so tough? And
yeah,
but you know, you can
breathe.
Fix it and tweak, but you want to just be loose and be like. The other night I went on in Santa Rosa, and I'm like, this is such a fun show. I knew before I walked on, the crowd was good. I go, I wish I was taping tonight. It just,
well, that's the best theater I've ever played. Is that,
really?
That used to be the Luther Burbank, and now it's called Wells Fargo or something like that, right?
I think Luther Burbank is still in the title.
It's in Santa Rosa. You have to play that place because it's based on a church with a balcony. It's sort of a half cylinder. And if you talk about feng shui of rooms, right, David? It's 1600, but it plays like a club. It's really
nice. The balcony is up on your sides. Also, it's not just in the back, and so they're all on top of you.
Everyone's on top of you, kind of. It just has that quality. So
I'm
gonna call my agent after I get off this. And when would be good for you to play a Saturday in Santa Rosa?
Yeah, let me know,
dude. Fortune grinds out the gigs.
You are kicking it. I saw your schedule.
You don't look tired.
I am tired. Both these tours have been back to back and have been over 100 cities.
Fucking A, Richie Rich.
Wow.
And I filmed FUBAR with Arnold in between the two tours. Yeah. So I haven't had a break since the pandemic.
We're going to put a hammock on the set.
Let's go. Come on. Fortune.
Yeah. Fortune, she get that actress with the name and it brings good fortune. That's why we hired her, and she's happy and smiling, and we do the shots, and then we were ready for the premiere with Ted Sarandos.
he brought up at one point Hans and Franz, and I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No, he's hysterical. Yeah. So you're doing incredible. You're stand-up, you got FUBARs, you got shows. Seems like you're on a roll for the last many years. I mean, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
It doesn't always go perfect. Like, it's awesome.
I just work my butt off. I don't ever stop because, as all of us, have that fear of like what's going to happen that time when people don't want to come, so
there's no real demand for us. That's the thing. I guess if I stopped, I want to be like, okay.
Yeah, so people are just like, bye. So yeah, I just grind because I do enjoy it, and there's that fear of like, when will this stop? So let's go.
You're young, and go for it. I'm just curious. Do you have a name? Because David, what's your name of your tour? I think they're kind of funny.
Well, this is a good question because I was also going to say, when you do 100 at a clip, do you flip the whole hour or what? What is your
when I finish? At the end of this tour?
Yeah, like when you did your first 100 shows. Now, do you have to wait and then you start over and flip the whole hour, or do you do a combo plate?
No, I do the tour, like 100 cities, however many shows, 150 shows, film a special. And some of those cities, not many, might be right after. And then I go off the road for a couple months, start doing like local shows. Then the special comes out.
Wow, okay.
And then I do some clubs to work on that new stuff. And I tell people I'm working it out.
But they love that though.
Yeah.
They love it.
And then say if the special came out in like October, I'm working clubs November, December, January. I'm starting a new tour, new hour.
Fast? You get an hour that fast? That's so hard.
That's what I've done.
You're a machine.
I did that. This will be my third hour in 5 years.
It's so hard. People don't get how hard it is. Like, is it going to be stuff I know? And I go, well, some people go on Instagram, you didn't even do those 3 jokes like for your special. I go, I know, because half the people want new and half the people want old. I don't know. They want.
Well, there are some jokes that people are like, will you tell that? That one thing. So I was doing that early on. I was doing a joke or two from my sweet and salty special And then now that I'm filming in April, my next special.
Okay.
So now I'm just doing what that hour is going to be.
Where are you going to film it?
Curious. In Seattle at the Moore.
Oh, I'm going to Seattle September.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a really beautiful theater. It's like 1,900 seats, but and 3 levels, but all the levels are like right at the stage. So everything's very close. So the laughter's big and nice.
So you've done 3. I saw 1. I hope I saw the latest one.
I have 2 that are out, and I'm filming the 3rd one.
Okay, on Netflix.
Yeah.
And so, do you have a name for your tour?
Well, it really is hard to come up with those names. I did Live, Laugh, Love, which is, that classic sign in all your mom's, kitchens or living rooms. I just think that sign is so funny. And I love that my mom's like, that's art. I'm like, you got it, sis. It sure is.
I've done Live, Laugh, Do Crack. No,
so I'm just embracing the corniness of it. I guess.
So you did Sweet and Salty.
No, I think it's nice. Yeah, Sweet and Salty.
Sweet and Salty was but see, the name of my tours don't ever end up being the name of my special.
Oh, is that different? Wait, I don't know. Mine's Catch Me Inside.
Yeah.
And my tour was called, my special was called, I don't fucking know.
What was it called?
I don't remember. Heather, what is my tour called?
Heather.
Oh, what is it? Something Problems?
This has been a running gag.
It's hilarious.
For 2 years that he can't remember the name.
Nothing Personal.
Okay. Nothing Personal. It's so hard to remember.
Because I do jokes about people.
Yeah.
I did one about Stallone. I did one about all these people I actually like, and I do a joke. I'm like, wasn't that funny? And they're like, oh. It's fucking mean. I go,
no, I was just having fun.
No, it's funny for me because I was
just funning. I was
honestly just funning.
Next time you're gonna go get 4, whatever. You're kind of from the South, maybe North Carolina.
I'm definitely from the South.
North Carolina.
I'm going there. How is that place? I'm going there.
You're going? When are you going?
What's it called? The CPAC?
DPAC. That's in Durham.
CPAC.
I'm going to be in DPAC in a couple of weeks.
Oh, you are? That's going to be great.
That's a good one.
Did you really graduate summa cum laude? This sounds like a lie.
I did.
Jeez, no wonder you could do a new hour in 8 weeks.
Yeah, you're fucking Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, right.
That's what everyone says.
It was just again because I was an overachiever.
Did you have 6 people in your high school?
I'm in a small town. I'm from a small town for sure. It's like 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And then my college was small too. So,
fucking still, that's good on the resume.
Yeah. I mean, what the irony is, I was working so hard in college to have a resume, and in LA, no one cares.
Shit. I know.
People were like, you went to college? Okay.
What a loser.
Yeah. You fucking loser. Yeah. I'm like,
you're not dedicated to comedy because you didn't quit school.
Unless you went to Harvard, no one cares in comedy that you went to college.
Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were all Ivy League at SNL.
Yeah.
A lot of the writers from Harvard or Brown or, let's see, Dartmouth.
Yeah.
And I went to San Francisco State. He went to Scottsdale Community College.
Or dumb comics. It was great. Smart writers or dumb comics. That was a good combo.
Or it's just AA degrees from community colleges.
It's a trip. I did. I sold a pilot, and Tina Fey and Robert Carlock were the producers. This was a while ago.
That's big.
And and they had a lot of the 30 Rock writers because I co-wrote it with Matt Hubbard, who did 30 Rock, and they're all Harvard, they're all Ivy League guys, and it is definitely like a different brain, the joke machine kind of thing. I had not worked with people like that before.
Well, they know all the references. They know French words. They know exactly what happened in the early part of the Civil War. They just have an educated pedestal to stand on.
Part of the Civil War.
Well, they would know what George Washington ate for breakfast. I mean, these guys are educated. Conan has a doctorate in comedy.
I loved Fun Dip growing up.
Yeah. Funyuns, Fun Dip, anything with fun I would like.
Did you ever have a fun dip, Chunk? What are your early stand-up? What are some of your, what you look back now that you feel are cringy or still special?
Oh, I had a fun dip in a
You did have a fun dip,
in my
Chunk?
sweet and salty special. I
Oh.
and that one was about being on the swim team. I joined the swim team because I found out that the swimmers ate fun dip, and that was the only thing that got me to do it.
And then you were a champion, or
no, I didn't know how to swim. My parents signed me up for the swim team, and I didn't know how to swim.
You thought it was how to learn how to swim?
I ran across the pool.
Like Jesus? Or what do you mean ran across the pool?
Like I thought I could fool people into thinking I was doing the butterfly.
Oh, okay.
So
you ran across the bottom.
The bottom, yeah. So I was like running and doing
like
the motions.
Yeah.
I'm like, no one will know. And I beat everyone. I got there first. So they technically had to hand me a ribbon.
That's not cheating.
Well, then I was informed that I was disqualified.
You get out of the pool and they just hand you a ribbon. There's no ceremony.
You get a ribbon, but then someone has to tell me, like, actually, like, you got disqualified.
They said DQ, and you go, "We're going to Dairy Queen," and you go, "No."
So that's one of those classics that I like to call them. But yeah, my earlier stuff, yeah, sure. I watched my half hour from Comedy Central. There was again a lot of that pushing, a lot of that yelling punchlines. And I mean, my wife is like, "Can you lay off the yelling of punchlines?" I'm like, sure.
I've done it. My old stand-up, I'm like, "Hey, everybody, you been to the DMV? It's crazy." They're like, "All right, fuck."
I had my brother say something to me that stuck with me. I'm at the Improv in the early 80s, terrified, 8 o'clock spot. And I just bought it. I mean, dead silent. Someone goes, Norman Lear seemed to like it. It's like 8 people.
Before he left.
My brother just kind of said, hurry up and be funny.
Ooh.
Rushing it, trying to just go really fast. Maybe that'll save me. Hurry up and be funny. So.
Yeah, that when you're bombing, it seems like such an instinct. And I did it 2 weeks ago at the Comedy Store. I went on and I thought I was hot shit, and I was fucking cold boogers. I went out there and I start going and they're not buying it. I'm like, what the fuck? Then I start going, wait, what am I doing? Oh, I should jump to that one. Oh,
yeah.
They don't like this. They don't like that. And then you start spiraling. You're like a horse that got spooked.
I mean, to be honest, and it's a good it sounds self-congratulatory, but it feels like the audience is kind of waiting for either George Bush Sr. or Garth or something.
Oh, yeah.
From you.
And I could do any kind of thing about me at 7-Eleven or a regular stand-up bit. But then if I hit a voice, that's what we want,
That would be nice to have in your back pocket, though. Where you're like, it's like playing a guitar. You're like, you guys don't like this? Are you going to like this?
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Bow, 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 bow.
Yeah. Say hello to the church lady.
But see, you're so great at impressions. Impressions is not obviously I can't even get rid of my Southern accent. I've been in LA 21 years. So
you have a very cool voice. I've just been starting to really listen to it. It's tonally and the accent. Yeah, it's just kind of. I figure. I mean, I'm not gonna try to do you, but there's something about all that. I did Daniel Craig in Knives Out. What that was called?
Yeah,
because I did a cartoon for Robert Carlock and Tina Fey. And so they said, do kind of a South Carolina, So I just watched Knives Out, and I just did that. I just did it over the top.
It's think about like Foghorn Leghorn.
Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. And I guess it worked. I don't know. If
I boy.
It's even
said.
It's jarring even hearing it Knives Out because you're like, it's so old school.
Yeah,
I know.
No one thinks that's real. They go, when you're in the Midwest, you go, that's not like a real thing.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a real voice.
Yeah. Well, what kind of, who am I doing now? There's a friend of mine, he's from the South, and he kind of talks like this. What y'all fixing to do?
Yeah, that's like Tennessee.
He acts kind of dumber than he is. I go, what are you doing saying you don't know what's going on? He goes, I was just playing possum.
Awesome.
I was just
funning.
playing Paul. I was just phoning. And
People-
I talked to, yeah, go ahead.
Well, people do think every Southern is a dumbass because of our accent.
Well, also this woman from Alabama who was a masseuse, and she was a really good one. She used to put her elbow on your ass and go, give it.
Oh, I like
give it,
that. Elbow on the
give it,
ass.
Give it. Oh, yeah. You had a whole, wasn't that the whole?
Give it.
Yeah.
Give it.
Yeah, butt massage.
That was funny.
And that
I
was
like that.
and that's very real. I had a guy masseur, what's the masseur?
Sewer?
Masseuse, a masseur.
He only wanted to give butt massages, and I was like, I really was startled at first, and then it was the greatest thing I'd ever experienced. And he would do it for like just the butt for like 30 minutes.
Oh my God.
Would not touch like feet, legs, anything else. He would
was
do shoulders.
grossed out.
He would do his shoulders for like 10 minutes, and then that was the massage. And I kept going back because I was like, no one else is touching my butt like this guy.
Yeah,
Well,
you walk in
and,
backwards. Get
Yeah.
ready. Here we come.
And then he got
Mhm.
fired, and I was like, oh, yeah, I think he did
He was
other
never supposed to
things.
do that probably at all. That's he just
I don't
Ju-
think
ju-
he was.
He was just doing
Oh.
it. Hey, do I owe anything? No, you don't owe me anything. It's fine. I just got off. What?
And
Well,
he
no,
would
I mean-
he would make noises like he was so
Like,
into it. And I was like, I should be grossed out by this,
No
but my
way.
butt has never been more relaxed.
Do you know
Yeah.
that the glute muscle and all that stuff around there connects the lower body? It is the biggest muscle in your body, the most important. So you
Yeah.
That's
must
what
have
they
felt.
yes.
Yeah, you must have felt incredible. You must have walked with a bigger stride after that.
For
a half hour
sure.
you're out. Yeah.
And I thought after doing that joke that like, okay, now when I go to a massage place, they're gonna be like, let's give her the old butt,
Yeah.
elbow.
Because they saw it in the special. Yeah.
and not one has done it. I'm like, God dang it.
You know what? They give you those code words like they really dress it up like gluteus, medius, and all this. And you're like, right.
Piriformis.
And they're not just saying I'm into butts. That
But
sounds better than
no
that.
one's like, do you want me to? They're not even giving me the option. Like, would you like me to get
IT.
in on that glute? I'm like, yes, please. And
I
but I don't want
sometimes
to.
say
I don't want
that.
to be a creep that's like, hey, what can you
I do. I
Get
say
that
get in
elbow
that
in there.
butt. I say,
get in that?
my
Get
butt
in
before
that
we-
butt.
don't
Look, I
care what
like big
time
butts,
before
and
the
I
hour's
cannot
over.
lie. Who sang that song?
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Sir Mix.
Come on now. Have y'all
Okay.
had butt massages?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! Yes. Can I do my favorite
You guys do
glute joke?
Give it to
Glute
each other.
joke. This is Hans and
Yes.
Franz. They're my favorite put down. Your buttocks are like marshmallows. You're lucky I don't have a campfire here. So the reason that's funny is like, what are they going to burn? They're going to put his ass in a fire?
Burn
That's
your
right.
Because his ass is like marshmallows. I've gotten a lot of massages, but not lately. I need a masseuse.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Dana, what do you think is the character people most request from you?
It's a pick 'em depending on age group. It would be the George Bush Sr.
Oh,
or Garth. It's George Bush Sr., Garth, Church Lady, Hans and Franz, or Ross Perot, probably.
What's your
yeah.
closer?
My closer, I do like 50 micro impressions. And you ever have a joke in your act, Fortune, that you don't feel is like the best bit, but it
Mhm.
gets an oversized response? You're like, really?
Yeah.
Like I do George W. Bush as a stand-up with an old stock joke that Leno gave me once.
Uh-huh.
And it kills so hard. I'm always like, really? George W. Bush is a stand-up. Two Irishmen walk out of a bar. It could happen. Like,
Oh, they walk out of
I'm going,
my
that's just
God.
such a silly joke. But
Yeah.
I do like 100 micro impressions in a row
Oh, that's cool.
just to bludgeon them quick.
Yeah.
1,000 stabs with a knife, and then they collapse at the end.
The one that lately kills, I just brought it back because it made me laugh, was just a way to do George Bush Sr. that I feels new. But anyway,
Yeah.
George Bush Sr. tries to go off a high dive. So I'm crawling up to the front of the stage. He's looking down. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Then it's like he looks over. Nah, gotta do it. It's just
That's
rhythmically.
fun. Yeah.
But
I
what's-
love that.
Thank you. So what's your closer? What's
Yeah.
your
Don't give it away if you don't want to give away your closure.
Well, you've had different closures.
Yeah.
What's your sweet and salty closure?
What's the one that you just wrote that you're going to do in your special?
Don't waste it.
I'll just say that this hour is, I've kind of fallen into the storytelling rhythm of my stand-up. So every special has a beginning, middle, and end. Like this is I'm introducing a premise to you, and here's kind of this is going to go on a journey, and then this is all going to tie in at the end, and then here we are going to come full circle.
Damn, you're jeez.
So the closer is not necessarily like, oh my God, this is gonna like, slap your titties. That's how
just beat yourself up and slap your titties.
Just slap your titties. This is good.
Yeah.
But it's a victory that involves what I set up in the beginning. And so I introduced something early on.
Jesus, you're Christopher Nolan.
You're
like, I do my act backwards once.
And then so the closer is the victory. And then I have the big clap for the victory, and I am tagging it with another thing that like brings it full circle a second time.
People got to come watch it.
And then do you put your hands up and go, good night?
And then photos.
And then I do a photo.
Yeah, before I let you go, Fortune, you got to tell us, how do you do the photo at the end? Because I never do it. And I go, I got to do this.
I know, Spade, you asked me, you're like, how do you do that? Because it is kind of an awkward, like you've gotten your victory. And then you have to be like, okay, now I'm going to need a photo. Yeah, I just kind of, if people are so used to it now, I just finished the thing. And while they're clapping, I'm like, thanks for coming. You guys are the best. Let's get a photo for the old Instagram or my scrapbook or whatever. And
scrapbook.
And I just say, I go on the count of 3.
And did the house lights know to go up?
They bring the house lights up, and I go on the count of 3, just act like you had a good time, and I count to 3, and everyone goes, and we get a picture.
When I do it, I'm gonna go, and on 3, stand up on 2. And on 3, it'll look like a standing ovation.
What I do, which is an inside joke with my opening act sometimes, Larry Bubbles Brown is very funny because I tell him I'm going to do it. So I'm doing a guitar thing, bam! Then I take the neck of the guitar and I hold the whole guitar up slowly way over my head. So I'm kind of like 12 feet tall. And as I move the guitar up, the audience is hypnotized into standing up.
Yeah.
And then he's always laughing so hard. I'm holding a cut off head in Rome.
I love it. They're like, we're standing for this.
Yeah. Look at the guitar. It's up in the sky. I got to get on my feet.
Well, when they know it's over, it's like when a plane lands, they're like, I just want to stand up and get out of here. I take it as a compliment. But they're like, can you stamp this? And I'm like, no, I'm leaving the stage.
Well, because all of us kind of set up the end for them, right? We're like, and now, my closer.
Yeah.
You kind of get.
Sometimes I said, before I go, here's one last thing.
Yeah, that helps.
Call the babysitter, say you're on the way.
Yeah.
No, but it tips them off.
Do you have nights where it's Mayday, where you have to call an audible? You have to cut things or hurry it up. The audience is tired or drunk or they're just quiet. And do you adjust or you just, it's not a problem? I mean, since you're telling stories, it's harder to like trim it on.
Chop them,
Right. Yeah, because there's definitely a specific set I'm running right now. If the audience seems a little like my closer didn't get the punch I wanted, if it's feeling a little incomplete, I will then say, and as a cherry on top, let's do a classic. And I'll give them probably the most popular story I do is from Sweet and Salty about going to Hooters as a kid. And then
and that, it's a good one. It works.
What's that? Oh yeah,
you know,
it always works. So
and if that doesn't work, you're like, fuck it.
If that doesn't work, then
I'm just not funny. Bye.
I got nothing for you guys.
Could you just tell us the first laugh line of that story? The first.
Well, so what it is that I just say I've been to Hooters my entire life. Because I have two older brothers. They loved Hooters, so it was never a big deal. And my mom started dating a very conservative man when I was in high school. Who, everything was a sin. And I said, we were trying to figure out where to eat. And my mom's, I start playing my mom where she stiffens up and she looks at me and she's like, I have never been to Hooters. And it's, because it's a long story, but now that people know the story and love the story, the whole audience,
they wait for it.
Oh.
They say it with you.
I have never. The whole audience is yelling, I have never been to Hooters as a whole crowd. It's pretty fun.
That's like Beyonce. Yeah, I like
yeah,
that.
I'm just like Beyonce.
What size rooms are you playing now? What's your biggest room you've ever played?
I just did the Chicago Theater, and that was 3,500 seats. It was sold out. That was pretty awesome.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, it was definitely like a cool, like, holy cow, this is a milestone moment. I'm doing anywhere from 1,500 seats to the 3,500 seats, and then sometimes I'm selling out the 2,700 seat and adding a show, or sometimes I'm selling out the 2,700 seats and that's that, or sometimes I'm happy to have the 1,200.
What city? Sorry, this is inside baseball for our listeners. What city do you sell the tickets the easiest? The fact, certain cities like, you sold out already. What city loves you the most? Seattle, because that's where you're going back to.
Seattle's, we're at like 6,000 tickets there that weekend. It's pretty crazy. Seattle, Chicago. We almost added a second show, but I got too nervous to like not have the victory.
It's hard. Yeah. If you don't fill up the second one, it sometimes looks weird. I've done that.
Yeah.
Go, why did I'll just come back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dallas, Charlotte. I mean, I'm in this weird spot where I'm Southern, but I'm also gay. So I do really well in red states that would surprise people. Because there are, even though they're red states, there are people there that want to see
come out at night.
Yeah, they want to see people that don't come through as much. So I do, like, I sell better in like Mobile, Alabama than I do San Francisco. It's wild. Because a lot of those folks are just starved for other voices that they don't get coming through there as much.
Just some representation. They go, we don't in San Fran, it's every night somebody. You're like, hey, this will be fun. And then plus you do just a great stand-up show anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I try to do jokes and stories that are not geared towards one person or one voice or one experience. Even though I am gay, there's a lot to me that goes beyond that. So my stories are coming from a place of like, being a kid in the 80s, having a quirky mom, being married. So things that, even in Good Fortune, in my last special, proposing to my wife, that's something men could relate to, being nervous, not getting it right. I try to throw out stories that different people can, grab onto and relate to.
Yeah, I think you have a very broad appeal to all kinds of people.
Thank you. I try.
I think so. I'm going out on a limb. I'm predicting good things. One is not only that you're talented, that you have a great work ethic. It's very impressive that you can turn an hour and treat it like a college assignment or something. I guess are you recording? You go to the clubs, you record your set, and then you're writing, listening to the recording, making notes, writing, going back to the club. I mean, it's
hard and
mentally hard.
It is my least favorite process, the writing of the new hour. I'm sure you guys feel similar. It's tough. It's hard. I'm like, what? I mean, at the end of this, I'm like, what am I going to talk about?
And you're like, I have a couple things at work. I don't have a closer. I don't have like something that kills every time. And then you're like missing your old stuff going, fuck, I could put that in right here.
I know it's hard. It's not a process. That process, I enjoy it when it's on its feet and I'm working it out.
Yeah.
But I don't enjoy the like, I don't know what stories to even start with. That's
you've already racked your brain for 3 specials. You're like,
and we're all working all the time. So my wife's like, we gotta like live some life, you know,
stuff.
like
do something different.
I don't want to be talking about like rental cars and hotels in my next one.
And gold bars that you bought.
I'm a gold member of Hertz.
Well, thank you, Fortune. Thanks
for coming on. So nice to meet you. I hope we run into each other and I'll go, hey, you were on our podcast. Hi, Fortune.
Dana, it's such a treat to talk to you and meet you. And
my pleasure.
I love me some Spade too. And Spade and I went real quick. We went to, happened to be at Craig's once at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
They
the place in LA to eat.
Yeah.
There was a booth between us that was empty.
Yep. And they so Spade was in one booth over here. We were on the other booth, an empty booth between us. And Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were maybe gonna come and be between us.
Yeah.
And I was like, this would have been the greatest story.
Oh my
ever.
God. Because they came up and whispered, they go, hey, just so you know, we're not supposed to tell. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are going to sit right there. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. And then I look over and I see Fortune. And I go, oh my God. We go over there. We're like conspiring. Like, this is going to be so fun.
You're going to get 10 new minutes.
But then remember, Fortune, we saw a couple like Secret Service guys come in.
Like checking the place out.
And I think they went back and said, there's 2 clowns on either side. And I wouldn't go in there. And
they're probably going to TikTok. Let's not have this happen. Yeah.
They went to the bungalows after.
Oh man, but I thought that would have been the greatest moment of
how fun.
Like you and I sandwiching a royal.
Would you have gone over?
No,
I wouldn't.
Probably you wouldn't.
I wouldn't unless they came over. Yeah, at least they said something.
Yeah, you're like bye-bye.
I would just nod my head and go Carrot Top.
But anyway,
oh, it's Prince Harry. I love all your stuff. You're fabulous. My name's Dimitri, and nice to meet you. No, I wouldn't have done it. I would have ran away. I want them on this podcast.
All right,
because I do think I'm sure they're very funny people. I'm sure they laugh a lot. They need to come on here.
They need to loosen up.
Just laugh. Let's tease out all the humor. Get rid of the darkness. And have.
This is the
Prince
place.
William beam in or whatever. Get these royals back together as a family. That's one of my goals this year in 2024.
If anyone can bring the royals back together, it's you two.
Yeah. We won't go rough on them.
There you go. No hard-hitting questions right here. You heard it.
No, just fun.
Yeah.
All right,
well,
Fortune,
fun.
stay in touch and like me more than Dana. A little bit.
I mean,
do what you can.
It's hard.
I know.
I always wanted to get on the Fortune 500, and I feel like I kind of have. No, I have no closer.
Of course you have. That was a great closer, Dana.
All right, bye.
Well,
bye,
all right. I'll just say goodbye as the church say. Well, Fortune, find my Meister Oyster. We don't know how to pronounce our last name, do we? But Jesus loves us, and we know that. We like to do our little comedy jokes and strut around the stage like a little scrumpet. Anyway, sorry, that's all I got.
Oh my God.
She's mean.
That just took me to a very wonderful place in my childhood.
This has been a presentation of Odyssey. Please follow, subscribe, leave a like, a review, all the stuff, smash that button, whatever it is, wherever you get your podcasts. Fly on the Wall is executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Jenna Weiss-Berman of Odyssey, Charlie Finan of Brillstein Entertainment, and Heather Santoro. The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman.